The Catholic Church today elected a new pope, a 69-year-old American cardinal named Robert Prevost, who was born in Chicago, so that white smoke might have just been from the brats on the grill.
Brats on the grill, the old brats on the bratwurst. Everybody loves bratwurst, doesn't it? Everybody loves bratwurst. And the people trying to be funny, not very, very good at it. That's for sure. We've got more stories because the CBS station in Chicago, they got a hold of the new Pope's brother. And you'll never guess what they're reporting out of their encounter with the Pope's brother. Pope Leo XIV, originally from Chicago, Illinois. An amazing story, an amazing life story, of course. But what are the news media people reporting about this? This is kind of fascinating. CNN saw the interview that WBBM TV in Chicago, the CBS station in Chicago, my CBS station growing up, and the headline, CNN saw it, and CNN's headline is, Pope Leo XIV likely sees U.S. immigration policies going in, quote, wrong direction, end quote. Brother says. Wait a minute. Pope Leo XIV's, and they have a possessive, it's grammatically inaccurate on the CNN website. Pope Leo XIV's possessive S likely sees the United States, meaning the Trump administration, handling of immigration as a, quote, total injustice, end quote. Now, that's not a complete sentence, is it? That's two words, which they're excising. The new pontiff's older brother told CNN affiliate WBBM. When asked about his brother's views on gay marriage, now wait a minute, the CBS station in Chicago got an interview, or at least spoke to, the new Pope's brother. And what did they ask him about? Is Trump handling immigration in an unjust way? And yes, he likely sees it. Likely, I like the word likely. They don't know what the Pope actually thinks, but they're talking to his brother. So they have him attack Trump. They get the Pope's brother. Let's attack Trump, all right? And then let's advance the LGBTQ agenda. When asked about his brother's views on gay marriage, John Prevost, the brother of the new Pope, Pope Leo XIV, said that Leo will likely, keyword likely, quote, follow what the church has traditionally said about that, end quote. Now, that is wackadoodle-doo. And the news media is the most corrupt institution in America, as you know. And the reason for that is that they're lefties. Any lefty is corrupt and dishonest and looking to steal stuff and have some kind of perverted sexual engagement, because that's what the Democrat Party is all about now, especially involving children. So the CNN headline, Pope Leo XIV likely sees U.S. immigration policies going in wrong direction, right? Likely. There's the word likely. Leo will likely follow what the church has traditionally said about gay marriage. Likely, again. And the brother, John Prevost, standing in his front yard being interviewed by the CBS affiliate, which also is an affiliate of CNN, because it's all a great big circle fest in a hot tub. Isn't that amazing? So they got the brother on camera, and then they asked him, isn't Trump bad? Don't you think the Pope... Now, one of the reasons, certainly, that they're doing this is because it is being widely reported that the new Pope, who was, before becoming Leo XIV, the Pope, was a cardinal in the Catholic Church, Robert Prevost, Prevost, and the headline at Newsweek magazine is Robert Prevost a Republican? ? What we know. Newsweek magazine. And it's a corrupt, fake journalistic take on this. The political views of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope, whose birth name is Robert Prevost, have come into question following his election on Thursday. White smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel's chimney at 6:07 p.m. local time, signaling that at least 89 of the 133 cardinals participating in the conclave had elected a successor to Pope Francis. Leo instantly became perhaps the most recognizable and influential living religious figure, holding considerable sway over the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. Like his predecessor, Francis, Leo will have the ability to reshape the Church's approach to a range of social and political issues. The news media goes right for political issues. What is the Pope going to be? And where do they go? Francis, for instance, made headlines for his focus on climate change and tolerance for the LGBTQ plus community. See, they go right for the Democrat Party talking points, right? Drag the Pope into the Democrat Party's cesspool here. LGBTQIAA plus and climate change because, So speculation grew over the new Pope's beliefs after his papacy was announced around 7 p.m. in Rome. And the ridiculous news media, here's the next paragraph, conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, a great American, a regular person, shared a post to X, which they point out is formerly Twitter because their readers might be incredibly stupid, saying that Leo, who lived in a Chicago suburb, was a, quote, registered Republican, end quote. Now, here is Newsweek magazine. Illinois, however, does not register voters by political party. When they go to vote in a primary, they state which party's primary they would like to vote in, according to Smart Vote. Charlie Kirk posted screenshots appearing to show, their screenshots, they do show, voter registration data for Leo living in New Lenox in Illinois. Though that information could not be independently verified by Newsweek, well, then maybe you shouldn't have gone to press. The data, which is not publicly available, suggests that he voted in the Republican primaries in 2012, 2014, and 2016. It also suggests he did not vote in the 2016 or 2020 general elections, but did so in 2024. Whom he voted for is not public information. This is right where the media goes. The vicious political hacks that are not journalists, they're activists masquerading as journalists. And Newsweek was able to confirm a Robert Prevost was the same birthday as the new pope, was registered to vote in New Lenox, but the rest of the data is not publicly available. Now, look how they're digging into this. If Donald Trump did this to anybody, that the media would start self-immolating. Isn't that amazing? And so they're going to argue about this because they want him to be a pro-climate whatever, pro-gay marriage whatever. They want him to be a left-wing Democrat is what they want. Just amazing stuff. Now, again, the lead stories, people, fact check, : they love their colons. New Pope Leo XIV is not registered Republican. They put the word not in all capital letters. He voted in Republican primaries, but Illinois voters needn't declare party affiliation when registering. But can you vote in the Democrat primary and the Republican primary? No. So why would he vote in the Republican primaries if he's not a Republican? And then the breaking news, new Pope registered Republican, and Will County, Illinois, New Lenox, precinct number 13, Robert F. Prevost, with his date of birth, September 14th, 1955, now 69 years old, party Republican. Registration 8/15/2023. And here's one of the screen grabs that they were talking about there. But our news media is so political that they're trying to attack the Pope and Republicans and trying to shoot down You got photos, screen grabs of the voter registration documentation online. And there's, well, but you don't have to. But sure, he voted in 3 Republican primaries, but he didn't vote in the, the news media should maybe be concerned about all the murders that Democrats are perpetrating, mostly against black people. Maybe they should care about human life instead. And the mayor of Chicago, let's go, Brandon Johnson, he posted his statement when we learned that the new pope was from Chicago originally. And the idiot Democrat mayor, who used to be an educator, that's unfortunate. He wrote, everything dope, comma, that means good. Dope means good, and bad means good, because the Democrats use the words, but they don't know what they mean. Everything dope, including the Pope, comes from Chicago. The intellectual level of today's elected Democrats is just in the gutter. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Democrat, celebrated the Thursday selection of Pope Leo XIV, a Chicago native, formerly known as Cardinal Robert Prevost. I think it's Robert Cardinal Prevost, but never mind that. The first pontiff from the United States of America. Everything dope, including the Pope, comes from Chicago. Congratulations to the first American Pope, Leo XIV. We hope that he just keeps rhyming, dope and Pope and hope. We hope to welcome you back home soon. That's the mayor of Chicago. Let's go, Brandon Johnson, wrote in a Thursday post on the social platform X, moments after the announcement. Maybe you should have taken a minute to think about it, because you're not coming off as an intelligent person, but I guess that's entirely appropriate, because you're not an intelligent person, and you're responsible for an increase in murder rates and gang activity and looting and businesses shutting down and businesses leaving Chicago because, every dope is a Chicago politician. Just amazing. Amazing stuff. All right, let us go to the telephones, Michael, because, it's Friday. That's not a good enough reason, but that's, we don't need a good enough reason. All right, let's go to Will, calling from Skokie, Illinois, just north of the Chicago city limits. Will, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Good morning, Christopher. How are you doing?
I'm just great, Will.
As a former Chicago resident, now in the Skokie, the media just pulls out these category error fallacies. They try to equate politics with theology. The Pope cannot come in and change the entire Christian theology on gay marriage and abortion and all this other stuff. Plus, they're worried about him being a Republican. He is now the head of a city-state. He is now has diplomatic immunity. He is the quote-unquote president of Vatican City, so to speak. And I just love how they keep pushing this stuff. Plus, now we got the Pope. That's the way we do stuff in Chicago. Joey Bag of Donuts used to know him from the neighborhood. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Anyway, and thank you very much. Have a good.
That's it. That's good stuff from Skokie, Illinois. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. That's great. Will calling from Skokie, Illinois. Wonderful. Listening on the great WLS, no doubt. Wonderful, wonderful. I love this country. It was great. The left, they're like, a cancerous tumor in the rectum, but that's where they reside. That's where they like to be. It's their natural state. They're not good people. They're not honest people. They're not truthful people. They're anti-science people. They think a man can say, I'm a lady. And they say, oh, look, now he's a lady. I'm going to steal your daughter's trophy. Hey, steal my daughter's trophy. Shower with her, too, because we're the Democratic Party. Hey, we love CEO killers and Hamas lovers. Oh, I've got some more Hamas lovers coming up in New York, violent criminals that they are. Democrats. As Mother's Day approaches, oh boy, it is Sunday, I want to highlight an organization that cares very deeply for mothers, and that is Preborn. The wonderful people at Preborn. The Preborn network of clinics across the country, they offer love and life and support to pregnant mothers who are feeling pressure to make the ultimate choice. Now, when a distressed mother comes to Preborn, She's offered free ultrasound, love. She's greeted warmly, a hug, and an ultrasound to hear and see the precious life growing inside of her, hoping that the mother will choose life. And it works very, very often. This Mother's Day, this Sunday, you can help bring life to both a mother in need and to an at-risk baby. One ultrasound is only $28 American dollars. 5 ultrasounds cost $140. Every penny goes toward loving mothers and babies. And when you become a monthly sponsor, you're going to receive pictures and stories of lives that you helped to save. To get involved, it's very easy. All you have to do is dial pound 250, and when prompted, you say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, the keyword is baby, or you can go to Al Gore's amazing internet and visit preborn.com/plant. Plante. That's me. That's preborn.com/plant. Yes, sir. Yeah, Democrats. Yeah, the Nazi mob was out. They call themselves liberals. Well, you know, the Nazis they called themselves the Socialist Workers' Party. So the Democrat Party, well, with them, everything old is new again. Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. Let's go back to the phones. Crazy Democrats are falling through the ceiling tiles while we're on the air today. We'll try to not catch them and get to a few of them. There are too many to get to all of them. Let's go to the telephones, Mike. Let's go to Jack calling from Chicago, Illinois. Jack, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Chris, how are you?
Great, Jack. What do you say?
So just more on the Pope and this whole Democrat versus Republican thing. So, Chris, I know you're from Chicagoland area up north, but
right.
The Pope is from Dalton, Illinois. Dalton is a south suburban Chicago community, and if you're familiar at all, these are a bunch of communities that have been ravaged by Democrats over the years as part of Cook County, and there's no doubt if the Pope showed up, he would see in full force what the Democrats have done, that the tax base is eroded, and, you know, it's known for all the corruption. And as far as the corruption goes, Dalton is where the mayor, Tiffany Hanyard, was recently voted out of office after all types of alleged corruption. She's undergoing FBI investigation, and is only a Democrat can do. She's not only the mayor of Dalton, or was, she's also a township supervisor for Thornton Township. In total, she pulls in about $300,000 of taxpayer money to do absolutely nothing but, go on trips to Las Vegas with her cronies and build a municipality. So if the Pope is Democrat, if he wants to be Democrat, if he wants this equity for all he needs to do is go back to his hometown.
Well, I think, look there, the screenshots, the evidence appears to suggest that he looks like a Republican, and why wouldn't he be? Well, yesterday was about 24 hours ago that the white smoke came billowing from the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel, the Vatican, Rome, Italy. Beautiful, wonderful place, Sistine Chapel. My best girl and I had the opportunity to spend time in the Sistine Chapel. And, of course, St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, absolutely extraordinary, almost impossible to believe when you're inside St. Peter's. And we had the opportunity to go inside the dome of St. Peter's, where a very narrow leaning staircase will spiral around the interior of the dome up to the cupola atop the dome, where you can go outside atop the dome of St. Peter's. One of the great views of Rome and certainly of the Vatican and Vatican City, St. Peter's Square, extraordinary. But we learned yesterday, and boy, it was amazing. I was out of the radio station, was able to get home to my best girl in time to see I missed the puff of the white smoke coming out of the chimney, but was informed very quickly. And it was a remarkable thing to see. And then we learned that it's the Cardinal Prevost from Chicago, kind of amazing. Now, one of the rumors that spread very quickly was that he is a Chicago Cubs fan. I can now, sadly, I would prefer that he be a Cubs fan, but I'm going to have to shoot that down. He's a White Sox fan. South Side, and we were just talking to a couple of great people from Chicago, and they're great. And I was just talking to Michael Piercy after we stopped talking. I said, I love Midwesterners. I love Chicagoans. Just so I'll keep it polite. No nonsense and straight to it. You can tell they're not BSing you. They're regular, normal thinking people, and you hear how well spoken they are. That's just it's wonderful. I love the Midwest. I really do, and people from the Midwest. But let's go, because it turns out that the local CBS News affiliate in Chicago, WBBM News TV, they spoke to the brother of the new pope. And the brother, one of the things they asked the reporter lady asked about immigration, because that's a hot political issue in the United States, having nothing to do with the Pope. But let's politicize the new Pope, right, because they're the news media. And so you got immigration and same-sex marriage, gay marriage, right? And then what is the third one they hit on? War. Yeah, war and peace. And then hitting on, is he a Cubs fan? Because it had been reported that he was a Chicago Cubs fan. And another Archbishop from Chicago was at the Vatican a few years ago and brought the now deceased Pope a Chicago Cubs hat, a baseball cap, and it was a fun moment. But that was a different priest, a different Archbishop. I don't think he was a cardinal, but I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and double check that. Now, here's the thing about the brother. The cardinal was Robert Prevost, and his brother that we're talking to here is John, right? Because they've got all these good normal names. And he pointed out, he's not from the suburb that people are saying, and he's not a Cubs fan. But let's get to this, because it's pretty interesting, I've got to say. And also, Leo the 14th's brother recalls feeling of, quote, disbelief, end quote, over his sibling becoming pope. You can say brother. He identifies as a man. He's not a Democrat. It's okay. So remarkable stuff, I've got to say. And the brother said, when white smoke poured out of the Sistine Chapel revealing new pope had been selected, John Prevost turned on his television in Illinois, called his niece, and they watched in awe as his brother's name was announced. She started screaming because it was her uncle. And I was in the moment of disbelief that this cannot be possible, because it's too far from what we thought would happen, said John Prevost, the brother of the new pope, in an interview that he did with the Associated Press from his home in New Lenox, Illinois. Next, he said, left an intense sense of pride that his brother, Cardinal Robert Prevost, had become the 267th pontiff. 267th, and it's a lifetime thing, right? It's not like you're president of the United States for 4 years or 8 years. It's a lifetime gig. So 267th pontiff, which is another media word for pope, to lead the Catholic Church, making the Chicago-born missionary the first U.S. pope. Kind of amazing. So WBBM talking to John Prevost, the brother of the now pope.
Settle this for me. Is he a Sox fan or a Cubs fan?
Whoever said Cubs on the radio got it wrong. It's Sox. And he never grew up in South Holland. It was Dalton.
And he never grew up in South Holland. And I love it. You hear how he is so matter of fact also. And he wants to correct the record. Somebody on the radio said he's a Cubs fan, and it was all over the internet that he was a Cubs fan. Whoever said Cubs is right, and he is from the south suburbs, and typically Chicago White Sox play more south side. The Chicago Cubs play more north side. Their fan base tends to be for the Cubs more north side, for the Sox more south side, and surrounding environs. But John Prevost, the brother of the Pope, whoever got it, and that wouldn't sound like it annoyed him a little bit. That was the thing that annoyed him most, I think. Don't you think?
Whoever said Cubs on the radio got it wrong. It's Sox.
He still sounds gentle and polite and kind, but just a little bit. Now, here the rest goes. The reporter asked kind of a panoply, a box full of questions. What about gay marriage and what about immigration and what about, here are the Democrat Party talking points.
Those controversial topics, the war, immigration, gay rights, and on and on and on. How will he, do you think, handle that, weigh in on that?
He will weigh in on it. I think he is, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he sees the United States is headed in the wrong direction in terms of immigration. That this is a total injustice. These are people. Doesn't matter where they're born, they are people first. And so they need to be treated as people first. Gay marriage, did you say? I think he will follow what the church has traditionally said about that. I think. And again, listen to how polite and gentle and caring he sounds. He's not a priest. He's a guy from Chicago. His brother just became the Pope, which would be an unusual place to be. Growing up with 5 brothers, I never thought one of my brothers would become Pope. A lot of other things maybe, but definitely not Pope. Of me and my brothers, I might make the best Pope. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I don't know if I'd be great, but I think it'd be better than my brothers as Pope. But that's, so here is it, and he sounds great. And I love the correction. He's not a Cubs fan. He's a White Sox fan. That's big. And correcting the town that he grew up in because, a lot of things are misreported. Early reports are always wrong. That's a good rule to live by when it comes to breaking news stories, big events, where the news media is rushing around, crashing into furniture, trying to be first to be wrong. It happens very, very often. But great stuff from the brother. And I like him and I like his tone. And we just talked to another couple of our last 2 callers from Chicago also. Wonderful. And they sound, I just love the sound of. He's a retired Catholic school principal. Oh, very good. He's a now retired Catholic school principal. Wow. Isn't that great? That's wonderful. And that's not in either of the things that I've read about him and the interviews that he's been doing. But that might help explain why he sounds the way that he sounds. Very measured and calm, except on that Cubs thing. He didn't like that very much. Just a little irritable on the Cubs thing. And that's great. That is great stuff. Wonderful. The new Pope, Chicago, Illinois, American. The Washington Post banner headline today is the new Pope, because it's the biggest news in the world, and a picture of the new Pope on the balcony at St. Peter's at the Vatican. First American Pope is chosen. Chicago native signals continuity. Leo XIV solidifies shift in power away from Europe. It's always power politics, but it's the left. The left sees everything as, a zero-sum game. It's all about power. Aren't they amazing? So we have that. Remarkable things. Now, with that, there are others, and I'm starting to run out of time, and it's Friday. I want to get to the communists, rabble, the Democrat Party. They hate the Jews. And why do they hate the Jews? I don't know. They're the socialist workers' party of the modern era. But they were attacking another school, another college, this one in Brooklyn. And what is it? The City University of New York. Well, it's something else, though. It's the CUNY, because they call it CUNY. But it's another one. It's in Brooklyn in any case. So the Jew-hating Democrats were out there, another violent mob of Jew-hating Democrats were out there. And they're attacking the City University in Brooklyn. And they're, the usual. They had new chants, though, didn't they? They're getting bored with their kill the Jews, sell them booze, whatever. You got to rhyme something.
But in Brooklyn, New York, yesterday, I was playing day before yesterday, they were attacking Columbia University, and the day before that, attacking the Jewish people. And yesterday in Brooklyn, you think, the Jews in Brooklyn come out and beat the hell out of them. That's what should happen. But here's what it sounded like in Brooklyn yesterday. Sure, that's and why now? How many were arrested? We got an update on the arrests at Columbia University too. 80 people were arrested, and only 50 of them were students at the college, because the Democrats they're not on the side of anything good. There's also Michael reminded me that Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field put up on the billboard yesterday. Lit up in lights on the billboard, Wrigley Field, home of Chicago. Hey, Chicago, he's a Cubs fan. They put up on the big billboard, and they probably heard it on the radio, too. So the media got it wrong, and that's good stuff. But so I wanted to add that. Now it turns out he's a White Sox fan. I'm still a Cubs fan to the extent that I care very much, but Wrigley Field is the greatest, and the Cubs are a great deal of fun. Now, the mob again attacking the college. What is it with the college? The Democrats have raised a generation of hate-filled lunatics. Tensions boil in Brooklyn after clashes outside synagogue. Right, and then NYPD using tasers. NYPD tases pro-Palestinian demonstrator outside Brooklyn College. Why only one? I'm a little disappointed it's only one.
Back up! Hey, stop pushing me down!
I will not stop pushing you back. He sounds like he's having a good time.
You gotta get me out of here now!
You got to get me out of here now. I like the screaming guy. That's pretty good. Good stuff. Students who set up several tents in a small demonstration on campus, on the lawn there, were roughed up by NYPD officers just outside the school after trying to disperse. This is the media lying about everything. Every word of that was a lie. Just astonishing. I think Nightstick. Definitely Nightstick. We got to bleep him out. This is the Democrats. Look what the Democrats have done to young women. They, how many women? It's just amazing what they've done to our country and to women and to 20-year-olds. The left is here. Sure. The CBS News 1 week ago out of New York, video shows group attacking woman outside Brooklyn synagogue. Yeah, it's a violent mob of anti-Semites. They call themselves Democrats, and they're the modern-day fascist party. Now, this is quite amazing. The Democrat Party is so close. Did you have one more there, Michael? Oh, yeah, 400,000 dead. They're chanting 400,000 dead. Why don't you arrest them? And you're arresting us instead. So they're saying 400,000 Palestinians. Last time I looked, I think it was at 40,000. They lie about, they're not good at math either. The Democrats, they put them in public schools where math is not their bag. This is like the rise of Nazism in Europe in the 1930s. And people that call themselves Democrats, that call themselves liberals, are 100% responsible for this. If you're a Democrat, I guess I assume you're an anti-Semite. If you're a Jewish Democrat, I assume that you're a self-loathing American Jewish anti-Semite. The violence is normal. January 6th was a picnic, except for Ashley Babbitt, the only person to be shot and killed that day. The only person to be killed that day by a police officer. The Democrats celebrated an unarmed woman. The Democrat Party is just being a Democrat is a mental illness at this point.
May I suggest using a nightstick, officer? Get out of here!
All right, it is Friday. The weekend is nearly upon us. Mother's Day is on Sunday. I'm not a mother personally. I don't have a womb or ovaries or anything because I'm a man. Yes, I am, and I can't help but tell you so. Now, let's go to the telephones. Let's go back to Dundee, Illinois. Let's go to Joe calling from Dundee, Illinois. Joseph, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Hey, Chris. Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Pope Leo does not hate Jews.
Yeah, that if you're a Democrat, you got to hate the Jews.
Certainly, Sarah Silverman does, you know.
And, good point. And she's theoretically Jewish, right? It's complicated.
You know, so hopefully this pontiff will bring, peace and joy back to the rest of this world, you know.
I think he may very well contribute to that.
Thank you, Chris.
And you're a Catholic yourself.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. Isn't that great? Yeah. Joe, I love it. Yeah, wonderful. That's right. He doesn't hate the Jews. He's not marauding. He's not advocating for colleges to be attacked in Brooklyn and in Manhattan and beyond to attack and terrorize, literally terrorize as terrorists do, Jewish people because they're Jewish, as the Democrat Party is so hell-bent on doing in 2025. For how long now have I been saying they should be wearing armbands? They should be wearing armbands. I'll say it again. That's it. They should be wearing armbands. It's great. Listen, have a great American weekend and a great Mother's Day for mothers everywhere. Good mothers, wonderful mothers.